Good evening and happy Thanksgiving. Barbara Lee Edwards is off tonight, but thank you for joining us. Between holiday travel and gatherings, there's growing concern nationwide and here in San Diego of an even higher spike in coronavirus infections. Yesterday, the U.S. reported more than 2,200 new COVID deaths. That's the highest single-day toll since early May, and nearly 90,000 COVID patients are currently hospitalized in the U.S. Elise Preston reports from New York, where the annual Thanksgiving Day parade went on with a few modifications.
A record number of COVID-19 patients are spending this Thanksgiving in hospitals across the nation. Other coronavirus patients are recovering at home, including truck driver Anil Gallmarker of Kansas, who is now breathing through a tracheotomy tube. He says his main concern when he got sick was his family.
I mean, the last thing I thought, and I prayed, scared that I had infected my wife and my kids and my mom.
In Minnesota, as ICU beds near capacity, the state has set up a command center to coordinate patients with hospital care.
Patient placement is always a little bit like a game of Tetris. You've got to find that right bed in the right space at the right time.
Despite calls to stay home this Thanksgiving to limit the spread of the virus, the TSA says it screened more than 1 million travelers at checkpoints nationwide Wednesday. That's the most since mid-March. Health experts say those who choose to have big Thanksgiving meals should still take precautions.
Focus the meal in short periods. So you're eating the meal, and then the rest of the time where you're talking and socializing, your social distance and wearing a mask is critical.
The annual Thanksgiving Day parade here in New York City is one tradition that thankfully has not been canceled because of the virus. But it is much different this year. There's a shorter route, and there's only a handful of onlookers instead of the usual crowds.
We found one couple who dressed up to watch the parade.
I guess if you can make anyone smile during this time, you're doing your job, you know?
Another change, fewer handlers escorting the giant balloons. They still provided an uplifting sight during these difficult times. Elise Preston, CBS News, New York.
And here locally today, county health officials released limited coronavirus data because of the holiday. But they say there are 1,052 new cases. 37 more people are now hospitalized and 5 more people were admitted to the ICU. They also reported 8 new deaths, now just shy of 1,000 total since the pandemic began, with 996. It was a close call today for one family in National City. Their Thanksgiving turkey almost set the house on fire. Firefighters say the family put that turkey in an oven around 4 a.m., then went back to bed. Firefighters say the family had grease from the pan spilling out, starting the fire. The residents later woke up to smoke and found flames, which they were able to put out themselves. Fire crews helped the family vent the house, but they say this is a good reminder to make sure your oven is clean.
I always got to make sure your oven's clean too before you fire that up, because some of the times people don't fire up the ovens until it's once a year, and today is usually the biggest day we get the oven fires.
The family's turkey was a loss. Fortunately, though, no one was hurt. It was a Thanksgiving meal unlike any other, as the pandemic forced the Salvation Army to cancel its traditional Golden Hall dinner held downtown for decades. This year, the nonprofit passed out individually wrapped meals for those in need to take out. News 8's Heather Hope shows us the changes.
Right, and this is certainly not the packed Thanksgiving dinner we've seen the Salvation Army do in years past. But this year, due to COVID-19 pandemic, they've had to pivot and opened up locations like this one in Claremont, allowing people to drive up, pick up food to go for all those in need.
Today we're feeding 400 people from the community.
Giving back on Thanksgiving.
These days the need is greater than ever before.
As a line grew outside the San Diego Salvation Army Citadel Corps in Claremont, teams of volunteers packed up full plastic bags.
Some great people that we work with to make sure those meals come and they're hot and they're prepared.
Passing out a Thanksgiving meal to many without anything to eat.
Well, I'm on the street, homeless, and I come here, every weekday to get lunch anyways, and I heard they had this on, so I got enough food to last for a couple days now.
Making it last as the nonprofit hopes to make an impact during the pandemic that has kept people socially distant for several months.
Make sure they have a meal, make sure they have some kind of contact with somebody.
You're welcome. Guests were grateful to pick up the free takeout meals, but it's a huge difference from the packed sit-down Thanksgiving dinners the Salvation Army has served for 30 years downtown in Golden Hall.
As with everything in life, we've had to change procedure because of COVID, so now it's a grab and go instead of a sit-down meal.
Using Claremont as one of 4 locations spread out across the county, where anyone can walk up and not walk away hungry.
Well, it means survival.
Have a good Thanksgiving.
Have a good day.
2020 has been increasingly hard for many to find and keep a job. Doug Smith says he's a retired electrical engineer living on the streets.
I give thanks to God, and I'll do it 6 or 8 times today.
Despite having nowhere to go, Doug is grateful for his health and a meal. His Thanksgiving prayer is simple.
And thank you for, keeping me going, and despite all the circumstances.
Much different this year, with far less bell ringers for the Salvation Army's biggest fundraiser.
The kettles that you see in front of stores, which are limited now because of COVID, are how we help people all year round.
In order to keep food giveaways like this one going, the Salvation Army urges anyone to donate at sandiego.salvationarmy.org. Heather Hope, News 8.
Thanks, Heather, and thanks to those people doing those good deeds. Many stores that opened up for Black Friday deals on Thanksgiving last year, they're closed today. They won't open until nearly sunrise tomorrow morning. On top of those changes, News 8's Alicia Summers shows us stores are spreading out the savings to spread out the crowds.
Like everything else, Black Friday this year won't quite be like what we're used to. Many stores that opened in years past today are closed. Also, due to the pandemic, major chains are laying out their Black Friday deals earlier than ever and mostly online. With the click of your keyboard, it's never been easier or more highly encouraged to skip the age-old American tradition of lining up shoulder to shoulder outside stores for Black Friday deals.
I usually come in store, but I just got to Amazon it this time, unfortunately. It just feels safer at least.
I really hope that it doesn't get as chaotic as it normally does on Black Fridays.
I think a lot more people are ordering online and, finding other ways to get things.
Retailers are offering Black Friday discounts earlier and online this year to spread out shoppers. For example, the price on this Shark IQ robot vacuum has been slashed $195 at Walmart. And this Ninja Foodie pressure cooker and air fryer is on sale for $100 off at Bed Bath & Beyond. Stores that used to open Thanksgiving evening to kick off Black Friday shopping are closed, Target being one of them. Here's a list of some others. Everything from Aldi, Barnes & Noble, Home Depot to TJ Maxx. The National Retail Federation predicts total holiday sales this year could reach about $766 billion, a 5.2% increase from last year. Alicia Summers, News 8.
A reminder as you celebrate this Thanksgiving, if you plan on drinking, have a plan for your drive home. The CHP is out in full force for what they call a maximum enforcement period. It started last night and goes through 11:59 p.m. Sunday. Officers are on the lookout for impaired or unsafe drivers. The CHP also reminds everyone to buckle up. Designate a driver if you're drinking or use a rideshare to get home. Still ahead, local fire crews were hard at work today putting out a series of brush fires, plus a Thanksgiving message to troops from President Trump and one to the nation from President-elect Joe Biden.
And a red flag warning takes effect as we head into your evening hours. We'll take a look at how windy it's going to get and a look at your Thanksgiving weekend forecast coming up.
And to help brighten the holidays for seniors who are going it alone this holiday season, we're asking you, our viewers, to make a connection. It's easy to do and will mean so much. Just write a letter. Maybe you'd like to share your favorite holiday memory of a grandparent. Maybe you'd just like to say hello and brighten the day of someone you don't even know. Start by texting the word CONNECT to 858-571-8888. We'll take you through it step by step. We'll be hand delivering messages to local seniors. You can make a new friend and make a big difference in their lives.